A lot of people in Ottawa will tell you that the carbon tax is not the reason Canada's inflation rate has been strong and steady for the last 4 or 5 years. They'll blame the pandemic, which certainly was one of the causes. They'll say that it's the global supply chain, which does have some effect. And there are other things in the Canadian economy that also contribute to inflation. But the Canadian Trucking Alliance, the largest organization for trucking firms in the country, came out today with a study that shows their members this year, 2024, will spend $2 billion just on carbon tax. By 2030, because the tax keeps going up every year, by 2030 they'll be paying $4 or $5 billion a year in carbon tax. So if you don't think that that contributes to the price of every good that they move in a truck, and they move everything in trucks, there's groceries, there's minerals, there's footwear and other clothing, anything you can name gets moved in trucks. And these are just the big interprovincial trucks. These are not the trucks that run around in the city delivering things from the depot to the store where you're going to buy them. That probably adds about another $1 billion or $1.5 billion a year. And if you don't think that those prices are in your product prices, you're mistaken. They are. They definitely get worked into the consumer cost. So of course, the carbon tax is inflationary. Government spending is inflationary too. Government high interest rate policies, that's inflationary. They've driven up the cost of rent and housing, that's inflationary too. But the carbon tax is one of the main components in Canadian inflation, period. I don't care that the governor of the Bank of Canada, Tiff Macklem, says, oh, it's only 1/4 to 1/2% of the inflation. It's not. When inflation was running around 8%, the carbon tax was probably about 1.5 or 2 percentage points of that rate increase because it's high and it's getting higher every year. So what it really has become, because it hasn't cut down on fuel consumption, it hasn't cut down on emissions, what it's become is just a cash grab for the federal government. Don't let anybody tell you that the carbon tax hasn't hurt the Canadian economy, and it's certainly hurt the Canadian consumer. For Post Media, I'm Lorne Gunter.